Welcome everyone to Westerns Warmup. This is a new series on the WCC YouTube channel where we sit down and interview some of the best solvers in the West heading into Western Champs. Today, I'm honored to be joined by the female North American record holder, Nancy Liu. Hello, Nancy. Good morning. How's it going? Feel free to introduce yourself to the audience.
Yeah. Hi, hello everyone. I'm Nancy Liu. I'm from SoCal. Specifically, I live in South Pasadena, a very beautiful city. So nearby Cubers, I really hope to meet you guys in future competitions. And my favorite events are 2x2 and 3x3. And I also am the fastest in these events compared to my others events. And yeah, should I say when I go into cubing and everything?
Yeah, perfect. Yeah. Give a little like origin story. What got you into cubing and why?
To be honest, my origin story is a little cliched. I watched fast people solve cubes basically, and I was like, oh my god, that's crazy. So, once cuber that inspired me the most was Jiazhou Li, because like I was originally from China and we live in like the same area, so I can see him compete very often. Yeah, and I've been into cubing for 7 to 8 years. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. I guess like was there any inspiration to like get into like how did you pick like your main events? Did you like were you always like, oh, 3x3 is like the most fun event. It's like the most event that everybody does. It's the one that's held at every
That was
competition.
the case for maybe the first 5 years of my
Mhm.
cubing career. And but later I was like 3x3 is a little competitive.
Yeah.
So then I picked up 2x2, which wasn't as competitive as 3x3 at the time, but now it's also very competitive. Both events are good. But now my main event is probably 2x2. Yeah.
Interesting. Why would you say your main event is 2x2 compared to 3x3? Because I mean, like I said, you're in the top 100 of results worldwide, and you're like one of only 100 people who has like a sub 6 average.
Yeah, it's really because I wasn't expecting that sub six average, to be honest. Yeah, I haven't practiced for like 2 months before that competition, and I wasn't expecting to get any great average, especially a PR. And then I was like, okay, just get into the competition, warm up. And it actually went pretty well because I wasn't nervous or anything. And 2x2 is really my main event right now, really because I learned all those EG. I'm considered like better in 2x2 compared to 3x3 because yeah, my 2x2 average, like practice average, is actually better than my PR now. So even though the rankings might show that my 3x3 might be better, but I feel like 2x2 is still my main focus.
Yeah, 2x2 can be a tricky event to main also because sometimes it just comes down to the scramble sets. Honestly, even 3x3 is kind of getting to this point now where like if you just get bad
3x3
scrambles,
is much better. It's
yeah,
much better.
yeah,
Yeah.
at least you have the opportunity to like create your own luck in 3x3. Yeah, what is
Yeah.
that like? I guess kind of is that frustrating sometimes where you like walk into 2x2 and you're like, okay, like today we're gonna get like we're gonna get PR by like a huge margin, and then the scrambles are just bad.
To be honest, that was the case for the entire year. When I after I broke my 2x2, it was FWR average, I think.
Mm.
And then for the entire year, I was like, okay, gonna improve. And but the results just so no. And every time, like after I have the chance of getting a better average, like four solves into the round, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna lock in this one, and something happens. Yeah.
Yeah,
But now I kind of just relax with with these results because it's not really useful to be frustrated anyways. Yeah, I'm probably not the only one anyways.
yeah, I mean, it's also interesting for you because, like you said, you have like a limited number of rounds because you're also in school, right? And of course, like
Yeah.
balancing school and cubing is always hard. So like, how do you like kind of manage expectations going into even just like any competition, just because the rounds are so rare for you?
I had very high expectations for a very long time, mostly before high school because this year is my first year in high school because I really had time to practice in middle school, and then so I was usually having like a very high expectation of myself, especially in 2x2. which is not something I can control usually. So yeah, how to balance cubing in school. In middle school is pretty like I had a lot of free time. I usually practice like I won't say a lot. In seventh grade, I practiced like 1 hour a day. Eighth grade, it reduced to 30 minutes or even less a day. And now this year, it's pretty rough, really, because I don't really have that much time. It's a little shocking how the transition from eighth grade to like ninth
Mm.
grade has been. So, yeah, I guess I'm very relaxed at Cuba right now. I'm like, my priority is to make friends, and my second goal is to create some PRs.
Yeah, yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I think that's a good way to kind of approach it. Especially when like if your main is like the scramble dependent thing, it's like it's just completely random sometimes whether or not
Yeah,
you get an opportunity to even do
yeah.
well. Um, I want to go a little bit into the 599 average you got. You said it was like a little bit lucky. Tell us a little bit about like what your preparation kind of looked like before, because this was also like your last comp too, which was February. No, that was in January, I guess, at this point.
Yeah. Okay. So, first of all, I did not have that much time to practice before the competition, so I mostly just practiced a lot the night before. Would not recommend that. Also, during competition, I have this little routine in 3 by 3 of like, first of all, I warm up with my hands for like with some practices of like the top layer. I think it's really beneficial because you really need to get into um, that that state where you can just turn faster and be confident in yourself, and then also just to prevent some lockups. And later in the like when like after like 100 solves of these top layers, I move on to actual solves. But I usually don't time myself during inspection because I usually have enough time. But if you are not confident with like seeing the first F2L group or anything, you should probably time yourself for inspection. But before competition, you can just relax and just do some solves where you mainly try to um, like just get better solutions in, because that's what will help most in like a real round, because you really want to like you usually would be a little nervous, so you would want your solution to be consistent at least. And so that's basically all my prep before the round. I just went up there, and then after self, okay, that was great. And I was like, okay. And also, really do not put pressure on yourself, because that's what I did for the 599 PR. If I was nervous, to be honest, I was gonna mess up on all last four solves. And then I think another thing is that if you're really feeling nervous, um, sometimes the best way for me to deal with that is to not talk to anyone. That sounds really, really mean, or I don't know, but like it really helps me to focus. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can kind of like maybe lock in and not be distracted by like what someone else has had for breakfast or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. What would you say you global? And so like I guess relative to that, how good was 599 really?
599. If I have to rate it like compared to my usual score, like if I have to give it a score out of 100, that would probably be 88 or 90.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, so pretty good. What do you think you need to do in order to like replicate 599 or kind of get close to something like that in an official comp again?
Not expect anything. Yeah. Also, I really need to practice more. I really need to lock in,
Mm.
especially for Westerns. It's more competitive than a normal competition.
Yeah, Westerns is going to be crazily competitive. We'll have 3 rounds of normal, your average of 5, and then we have the new head-to-head format. And one of the things that's weird with head-to-head is usually you have like 16 people or 20 people who advance to a final, but for 3 by 3 and head-to-head, it's actually only going to be 8 people. Um, So I'm not sure if you watched other head-to-head stuff that the WCA has put on, but do you have like thoughts on potentially competing in it and like trying to make it into the head-to-head final?
So making it to the final would be great, and also I think watching it would be better though. Because I think competing in that format sometimes would be a little stressful, but it is so much fun, like so much more interesting to watch as like a spectator. I think it can potentially inspire more people to join speed cubing even just because it's so fun to watch. And I think, to be honest, I would feel very honored to be in one of those finals because you have all eyes on you and like everybody's solving, and then yeah.
Yeah, totally. I mean, well, we would be honored to have you in the finals because we want to see the fast solvers make it into the finals. Yeah, so I guess like going into westerns, let's talk about both 3x3 and 2x2. Maybe let's
Yeah.
start with 3x3. Is there anything in particular that you're like kind of preparing, or like are you like learning new algs, or are you just more so trying to, like you're saying, like kind of lock in and think about like your solutions and efficiency?
Uh, I have not been practicing
Sure.
very great, but I plan to practice, I promise. And then maybe like at least 2 weeks before the competition. And also, I think I'm not gonna try to learn new algs, especially for 3x3. I'm not interested in ZB. Can I say that?
Yeah, yeah, totally.
Yeah, but I do think like if you want to go with ZB, like start with some easy ZBs because like I tried those like I think easy ZBs are okay. But like once you get into like the entire hundreds of algs, like it's easy to lose track of some algs and then how to like discern them. So I think yeah, 3x3, I mostly just want to improve my solution and my consistency. And that's the most important for 2x2 too, because I think I cannot rely on good scrambles and everything. I have to get into like, I have to get, I think for me, I think sub 1.7 for almost all solves. I think that's the consistency I'm aiming for. And 3x3, I think 3x3, it's easy to be consistent in 3x3. And I think sub 7 is what I'm aiming for. Yeah.
Yeah, I think sub seven is certainly a good goal. I think probably in order to make finals, it will probably end up being sub seven. Because we got Max, we
Mhm.
got Maddie. These guys are basically guaranteed to
Yeah,
get sub
definitely. Yeah.
six. And then we also got like, yeah, we got loads of names. If I like rattle them all off, it would take forever.
Oh, but eight
Um,
people in finals, so it's going to be very competitive.
yeah, yeah, it should be pretty competitive. I think so. Last I checked, I think you were, I think sixth on the psych sheet.
Oh, wow.
So I
Okay.
think so. Right now, you're in by a good margin. But
Okay.
I think it'll
Okay.
basically be guaranteed to be sub seven to make it into
Yeah,
that
yeah,
final.
yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, which will be exciting, no matter how it
Definitely.
goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, talk to me a little bit about 2x2. What are like your goals for westerns, and then like how does 2x2 preparation kind of differ from your 3x3 stuff?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So 2x2, I mainly just try to get some solves in because for 3x3, you can rely on I don't know, like your turning in a competition, but 2x2 really need to be consistent. You can't rely on scrambles or anything. And I think I'm not gonna learn new algs for 2x2 as well, just because I will have limited time to prep, and new algs might mess up with my usual routine. And I really need to focus or allocate all my time on solving practice and especially inspection time. I really need to like because 2x2, you don't have that much inspection time. You have to look at basically almost all solutions you can come up with. So inspection time is really becoming like an issue when you not practice a lot. So for 2x2, I think my plan is just to solve more.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, makes a lot of sense. How many solutions do you usually go through in inspection right now? Would you say?
Right now would probably to be 2 to 3, but when I was practicing more often, it would be like 4. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, makes a lot of sense. And then how do you think you kind of practice generating more solutions? Do you think it's just doing more practice, or is there something systematic that you think you can pick up?
Uh, doing more practice.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. If
Yeah.
I have to give a systematic way of practicing it, I would say, um, just so basically to practice to inspect it without timing yourself at first. And this way you get more familiar with the solutions you can possibly come up with and your priorities in a real round. So that way you can like inspect faster when you really have to get like the time limit.
Oh, I see. So it's kind of
Mhm.
like if at home you can see five solutions, let's say, maybe in competition during like your 15 seconds inspection, maybe you don't see five solutions, but maybe you still see three solutions. Whereas if at home you only saw three solutions, maybe at competition you only see like two solutions or something. Is that what you're saying?
Uh, Similar to that,
Okay.
but I was talking about how you really need to look at all possibilities in a cube. So basically, it's similar to what you're saying, but the difference is you're basically trying to find out the solutions that are easier to for you to find out. For example, if this setup is 5 steps for this phase specifically, you want to find out if that's easier for you to like look at in a real competition versus like a 6 step setup or like a 3 step setup. Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, I guess like having the options open to you at all is what's the most important thing. Because if you just don't see the options to begin with, then obviously you're not going to execute it, right?
And also prioritize the ones you think
Mm.
you're easier to find.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Makes a lot of sense. One thing I want to ask, which is maybe a bit of a different question, what differentiates your solving, you think, compared to other people? Like, what makes you particularly good at two by two?
Mm, so I don't usually go with cancel. I'm practicing on that, but most of the time I just go with the solutions I'm really confident with. So it's harder for me to like mess up completely, but also I might miss some very like great solutions. Yeah. So I'm more of a consistent solver, but I really want to really get some like those amazing solutions in like those cancels. Yeah,
Hmm.
I tried these in competitions, but the best result I've gotten is DNF.
Ah, yeah. With cancellations, it's hard sometimes because you
Yeah,
have to look into the future and then not execute the moves that you're so used to executing. So.
I think it's really about my self-confidence. Like when I'm confident with a solution, I usually get a very good time, but yeah, if I'm not, then I usually mess up.
Okay. Yeah.
Mm.
Um, so I'm gonna spin this question a bit of a different way also. So
Yeah.
recently we've actually seen a lot of progress in two by two, especially from women, right? Because I think Yuki broke the FWR somewhat recently, and
Yeah.
I don't know if you I think Alina is also one of your friends, right? And I think she's
Yeah.
been getting crazy results in two by two and three by three recently, and her progression is just nuts considering she was
That,
also a
that's
senior.
yeah. She's really impressive as a cuber.
Yeah,
And
so
too. Yeah.
well, sorry, go. I think the last thing cut off. Maybe go ahead, say that again.
Yeah, she's really impressive as a cuber and as a student.
Yeah, really crazy stuff. So like, yeah, what do you think? Like this progression of like women cubers. Also, Chishian just broke the female world record again. This
Oh,
last
yeah,
weekend, she got
yeah.
468. So yeah, so what do you think about like more and more girls getting into cubing, and let's say like someone is watching this and they're like, oh, I don't know if like makes sense for girls to get into cubing. Do you have like any advice and tips for them?
Definitely. I think it's easier to always try it out at first and then see if you're interested because I promise it's gonna be interesting. Like you get more and more motivated as you go on. And I'm really happy that these like female cubers are on the rise now because it seems like we're getting more inspirations for these new girls in cubing. And I think the best way for you to improve really is to make friends and find motivation because I won't I won't phrase it as peer pressure, but I think that's how I was motivated to improve from like 11 seconds to sub 8. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's something that sometimes I see like Alina and Yuki's stories, and they're always just trying to like beat each other. And
Wait, really?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and I guess it works out for both of them because they've been getting really good results recently. So I think it's not as actually peer pressure, but it's like friendly competition. I guess is
Yeah,
what
yeah,
it
yeah,
is.
yeah. That's much better way to put it.
Yeah, no, totally. Do you have anyone you look up to, like in cubing or like in sports or otherwise? Like, what's like your source of like inspiration?
Right now, I think I'd say it's from one of those like we would you would say like older cubers like Felix or Max because I really like how they're so consistent and they've been cubing for so long but still persist in cubing even though they're like new cubers coming up. I think that's my goal eventually is to be active in this cubing circuit and then really try my best for all the solves. I might not always be the best like solver like on like a ranking wise, but I will definitely enjoy my entire cubing career. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. And I mean, yeah, Felix and Max, those are guys that everybody looks up to. So
Hmm.
they're great role models for our
Yeah.
community. And you know, you're right. Felix just got OCR.
And also a female cuber I really, really admire,
Mhm.
Juliet. Yeah.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Juliet, I think she recently won the French championship again for like
Yes.
the third
Really,
time in a row.
really impressive. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, very impressive. No, she's awesome. I got to interview her at Worlds also, and she's very well spoken.
Mhm.
And plus she's done so much stuff. Like, so I'm learning some ZB on the side, and like I have like a tab open on my computer that's just permanently
Wow.
open. That's Juju's ZBLL sheet. And
Yeah.
yeah, I mean her
How's learning?
resources are super helpful.
How's learning ZB?
Um, Well, okay. There's no real point in me learning ZB because I just stink. But I like learning algs.
I doubt that.
Yeah. So like recently I learned the L2GLL set, which is some of the algs are like all the algs are good, but the recognition is hard. Um,
Yeah, yeah,
learning
that's
U was
why
way
I
easier.
start with like easy ones, like the
Yeah.
ones that are easy to distinguish.
Yeah. Yeah. There's also a couple of like really short ones. There's like 11 movers and 10 movers.
Mhm.
Those are definitely like way easier. I recently got a smart cube. So it's a lot
Oh
easier to practice on the smart cube,
yeah, yeah,
at
yeah.
least for doing like algs and stuff.
Mhm.
Cool.
Yeah.
Um, Nancy, tell the audience a little bit more about yourself, like outside of cubing. Do you have any like hobbies or interests, or like what are like your favorite subjects in school, stuff like that?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let me start with school because so basically I think I have a lot of interests and that's a little worrisome to me right now actually because all my friends are saying oh my god I'm gonna get into this major. I have this whole thing planned out for my 4 year of high school and I'm like how did you do that? Like because I feel like for now I don't really have a specific area that I'm like very interested in because all my interests are scattered out on this thing. Like, for example, I like math, I like science, but I also like speech and debate and like history. Yeah. And I also like music and speed cubing and tennis. So, yeah, I think it's important for me to explore these subjects early in high school and then try to like find a real like I don't think it would be a true interest, but like the one I'm most interested in and also the good at, like the best at. So yeah. And right now I would say speed cubing is still my favorite.
Awesome. Obviously, good to hear. No, yeah, I mean, first year of high school, you got a lot of time to figure it out. It's funny because when I started high school, which was, oh my gosh, That was over 10 years ago at this point.
Mhm.
Back then, people were like, in high school, you could just have fun. You can kind of just do whatever.
Yeah,
But
yeah, right. That's so much changed over there. Like my parents told me that when they were in high school, like there was nothing like this.
mm,
Yeah,
yeah, it's very competitive these days. So,
yeah, yeah.
especially in areas like SoCal, the students are
Definitely, yeah.
very, very, very bright.
I do understand that a lot of people can like find their true interest or like even major in freshman year, but I feel like a lot of them are still from like family pressure, you
Mm.
know. Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Mhm.
But you got a lot of time, so you don't need to worry about it, in my
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
opinion.
I'm trying to relax. And now cubing is really very relaxing for me. Like it used to be one of like my main pursuits, but
Hmm.
now it's like just like a relaxation tool.
Yeah, that's actually kind of cool. I guess because also with the timing of when Westerns comes this year, it's not before school starts. It's actually like basically at the end of school. I
Yeah.
assume you probably don't have like exams or
Well,
anything.
for the finals, but yeah,
Oh, it's
still.
before your finals. Okay, so
Yeah,
that's a little bit stressful, perhaps. But
it's
at
fine.
least you have the Memorial Day on Monday.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
have the day off to do some cubing, and then you can get back into school.
yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, with school starting up, yeah, do you find cubing to be easier maybe because it's, yeah, less pressure?
Mm-hmm. Definitely. I think I'm also more able to enjoy cubing itself, rather than trying to get, oh my God, these PRs in. I need to get this PB. No,
Mm,
now it's just like, okay, I'm gonna make some friends today. Yeah, and then yeah, see if I can get a PR on the way.
yeah, awesome.
Mhm.
Cool. What kind of keeps bringing you back to cubing? Is there like anything in particular that's like motivates you to get better?
I think you just always want to get better once you are like at a certain level, especially when those like nowadays people are getting faster too, and like every time I pick up a cube after I haven't been practicing for a while, I suddenly get faster for a little period of time. And I call that like hallucination because because I think that's the way cubing, like the cubes are trying to tell me, okay, you can get faster because like usually you can try that too. I think I've done this a few times. For example, 599 average was one of those signals. Like I wasn't practicing and my cube is telling me, okay, get back to it because you can be better.
Yeah, definitely. I have this whenever I pick up a big cube. Sometimes I'll do like some practice, and then I'll like be like, ah, whatever, big cubes are lame, and then I'll go back to big cubes without doing any practice and get like some random like average of 12 PB. It's like, oh,
Sometimes it feels unfair even because when you're
yeah,
really trying, you're not getting like the results you've been wanting to get. But now, like, yeah, it's just like I think it's also a part of I don't know, like is that some kind of rule, a hidden rule or something even? Yeah,
yeah. Who knows? Cubing can be very mysterious at times,
yeah,
but it's fun. That's why we keep
yeah,
returning
yeah,
to it.
yeah, definitely.
Awesome. All
Mhm.
right. Well, I think we've chatted for a very long time, Nancy. So anything you want to like kind of close out the interview with? Anything you want to like mention to the viewers or anyone you want to like thank, shout out, whatever?
Can I change the part where I said don't talk to anybody?
Yeah, 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 of course. Yeah, this is your chance.
So now a practical tip I would give when you're feeling nervous is to talk to people about something unrelated to cubing because you won't feel stressed anymore. And even talk about different events, because you will not feel as present while you're like sitting to and waiting for a cube to come. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Nancy, how can people like follow your cubing journey or whatever it is? Do you have like a YouTube or like a public Instagram or something?
I have a YouTube, and the last time I posted is probably a year ago. I will post more often. It's called, wait, can you just attach it to the video later?
Yeah,
Because I really need
yeah.
to check. I'm
Yeah, yeah, no,
not.
no, I totally will. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. So
okay.
you can find Nancy's YouTube in the description. Awesome. Well, thanks, Nancy, for taking out your morning. It's a lot easier for you to get up, I think, than it is for me to get up. But hopefully you enjoyed the
Thank you
interview.
for bringing
And
this.
yeah, we're excited to see you at Westerns. Best of luck with your preparation and, of course, the end of the school year as well.
Thank
And
you
yeah,
so
thanks.
much. And then good luck to anybody watching.
Awesome. Thanks for the interview.
No problem.